then we could simply say that this was staged and planned. Now you put the blame on who? Well, now China. In the virology lab that's out there in the countryside, some far away from the people, even from the city. So if something happened, wouldn't even be close to the city, and it can be, thing if you look at the virology lab and where it's at. So, in order for that virus to have whatever they were talking about, garbage piece of shit, which is probably a lie, was a whole correlation prior that they had chumped up and probably created some bullshit or just used the whole scenario of well now and all this investigation to bring forth in the mind frame of the people that there was something coming. Because at first they did not say that, but you rushed it on down the line. You did not prove to the people that there was anything coming. You did not prove to the people that there was anything at all, except rushing it down the line. Then you create scenarios all over in your 38 nations of groups to show dead people from the nursing homes and the hospitals. Now, when Como jumped up, he said it was already here, which is a lie. So, how was it already here? But you told us after you had rushed it on down the line, had them lining up, digging up the nose and shit with something long as this, hmm? Digging them all up there, and all that bullshit, using wire hook things and all kind of wire hooking thing and up the nose with a little piece of tissue at the end, and then turn around and say, "Oh, I know all the people don't like it, so we're gonna make it even smaller. Instead of it being so long, it could just be a little stick like this, a little shorty, so oh, so cute." Mm? You garbage, nigga. You full of shit. You weaponize the government and you use a biological attack on them. And it's point blank. And because the people were so sucky, what I call sucky balls of the demon Democrat, they ain't paid none of that shit no mind. The only thing they saw in their mind, you know what I'm saying, was Donald Trump. So they didn't give a flying fuck whether or not the demon Democrats were lying to them. They didn't give a fuck whether or not the medical fields were lying to them that go for the CDC and the World Health Organization. They don't care whether or not the medical field and the medical people in the medical field, in the hospitals, nursing homes, and everywhere was down with this bullshit. They don't give a flying fuck. You know the only thing y'all cared about was Donald Trump. That's a damn fucking shield. You know what I'm saying? And even when we look at the onslaught before the election as to the different people running around fighting Republicans, arguing with them out there in the park, carrying on, running up on stage, wrecking the forums and throwing down the mic and kicking over the podium right in Washington, D.C., outside the building when the people going home from one of Trump's rallies. And they are there, "Hey, look at them fucking traitors, look at them traitors." Ramping it up high and sweet. Meanwhile, Black Lives Matter, flying around the town, I guess being well paid by Soros and Kamala and them, wrecking our fucking cities and towns. Even when you look at Trump, calls for people to be shot if they rob stores in terrifying remarks. How is it terrifying? How is it terrifying? Because it's black people who working for Soros and the demon Democrats are doing this. I got news for you. Let them same people rob the same people homes who's doing this bullshit, you know what I'm saying, and see if they don't shoot those people. Or it become where people getting shot and killed. Hmm? Let's turn the tide on the other side. Let's say those same people was robbing the demon Democrats, you know what I'm saying, running up in Soros' house and all kinds of crazy shit, Bill Gates and all of them, and the rest of them robbing the rest, and going up in people's neighborhoods and robbing the people's houses and just running and smashing and grabbing. You don't think that those same people gonna either get shot, stabbed, or something to stop them from doing that to them? But the only thing you see is when Trump say the opposite direction. So if you had a store during the Black Lives Matter time and you were black, it was all right for them to come to your town by the thousands, smash, grab, and wreck your store, and then move on to the next town and do the same thing. Philadelphia, Chicago, Illinois, all the different places black people doing this shit because they were all sucking balls for the demon Democrat. But I got news for you. Not all of us. But you want to sit up here now and say that Trump called for people to be shot if they rob stores in a terrifying remark. There's nothing terrifying about it. We cannot justify in our country this type of criminal activity in no shape or form. It doesn't matter what our people went through. Our people went through that because of the simple fact that war. Everybody always talking about Putin this and Putin that, like as if you're gonna block a nuclear bomb from coming through or a nuclear bomb going his way. It's all right to rally, but it's all right to look at the reality too. You know, you doing all this rallying, talking about, oh, Putin's a punk and he ain't gonna do shit and we're the strongest country in the whole wide world. He ain't gonna fuck around because we got 38 motherfuckers. But if they start shooting nuclear weapons, you could kiss your ass goodbye. So why are you talking about a terrifying remark on Friday to underscore the central question surrounding, what I'm saying, the President of the United States efforts to return to the White House? We've got to look at this thing from a better perspective because while you claiming all this bullshit, we don't see it. But we see in Anaheim, the AP in an occasional, in an occasionally dark and profane speech. No, it was not dark and it was not profane. What is spoke of is justice. What he's speaking of is the reality of quelling criminal activity. Why is the criminal glorified while a savior is downtrodden? Is the question that we have to ask. It's all right to murder, kill, rob, sex traffic, rape, every fucking thing in the book, to people, but when somebody step up to do something about it, he becomes what? The criminal. Imagine that. So, in other words, the saying that we used to say years ago from the great Itali, but about, you know, is what did he say? Is all right. I guess what he was trying to say more ways than one is righteousness is okay. No, a sin is okay and righteousness is not. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say it that way because I don't want to, get no copyright because they like to copyright you. But in more ways than one, that's what he was saying. It's all right. Righteousness is not welcome, but a sin is. It doesn't make no. You know what I'm saying? But we see Donald J. Trump on Friday sought to win over the Republican in California by, what I mean, uh, complaining that rich people in Beverly Hills, smell bad. Who gives a flying fuck about rich people in Beverly Hills? Hmm? And what was he talking about? Because they're denied water. You know what I'm saying? Reiterating lies about widespread election fraud. No, no, he was telling the truth. And there's always been election fraud in our country for many years, many, many years. And when they can't work election fraud, they bump you off. They assassinate you, like they did John F. Kennedy. They blow your brains out. Hmm? While they're busy talking all this jazz, we we see right through it and have always, you know. So while you talking about this stupid ass conversation or whatever you want to call it, you know what I'm saying? You see, why when you look at it, he's saying it smells bad because they are denied water. Reiterating lies about widespread election fraud and calling on police to shoot people for robbing stores. Well, go down in the neighborhood and try to rob them. You know what I'm saying? Go rob the people who rob in the stores. Because if that, it was the other way around, you would see more killing going on with me. Same thing we see when it comes to this whole pandemic thing. Now it's all quiet down. It's such a short period of time. That's another dead giveaway. But while many of his remarks at the California Republican Party convention in Anaheim were familiar, you know what I'm saying, retreads of Trump's attack on Trump's attack and grievances, his encouragement of violence, retribution against criminals, marked an escalation of a long standing tough on crime message. As we see, what else are you expecting to do? And how would you stop it? Are you going to go out there in the dark speech and stop these people from robbing and breaking up our economical structure by robbing the stores and all this and that, rather than, you know, ask for more and put forth an effort to build a more stronger community, more stronger business people, more strong of everything in itself that needs to be in the black community and in black people, instead of sucking balls with the demon Democrat, because while we busy asking them to help us, they busy doing for themselves, because we still broke and we still in high prices. We see a whole lot of shit going on while they sitting out there like creep Joe Biden and them running their trapper job. Indeed. You know what I'm saying? So we have to start to look at things that way brighter perspective than we're looking at right now. Because none of what we saw that went on in 2020 all the way to 21 did not make any sense during even the pandemic didn't make any sense, and it wasn't real. What was real was a shot though, but you know what I'm saying. And the many diseases that they probably put into people now that's going to be popping up. You know what I'm saying? We see, you know what I'm saying, they smash and grab, all these different things that were going on. The quarantine, all this. They rushed this thing right through in order to just get it into you. That's all it was. It wasn't based on any trueness to do with any virus or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? And if you look into it more strongly, you will see that. So we have to start looking at things from a brighter perspective, not what these people want to tell us because they're old farts sitting up in the seat farting it up. You know what I'm saying? But we see an official who spent 4 decades at the Fed say two trillion in annual reparations is the uh, is the least we can do. You know what I'm saying, to fix systematic racism. I just don't want to wait for another generation. You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, the Demon Democrats been singing that song a long time, haven't they? Mhm. But we still haven't seen it. So while you could talk about next generation and this and that and the third, you know what I'm saying? If you're gonna do it, do it. We're tired of hearing the rhetoric and the demon democratic trickle-down talk over this situation, but we need to see it. Period. We don't need to keep hearing or talk every time you figure you're gonna rally the black people to your side. You could kiss my ass. That one. You know what I'm saying? But he spent 4 decades, you know what I'm saying, at the feds, 4 decades, 4 decades at the feds say 2 trillion in annual reparations is at least, you know, what we can do to fix the systematic racist problem. No, it's not gonna fix it with just 2 trillion. You know what I'm saying? That's just bullshit talk and bullshit walk. You know what I'm saying? When he's sitting up there looking like whoever, you know what I'm saying? Look at, I think his name is Jeff, knows that it's a big number. Yes, it is huge. He said when he said when Fortune asked him about the project that the federal government should pay out an extra 2.7 trillion, you know what I'm saying, per year to correct economic inequality born out of systematic racism. All of us as black people write about who's going was born out of systematic racism. Not just going back to the early days, systematic racism in all ways. Don't mean we couldn't progress, you know what I'm saying? But systematic racism have to do even with education and educating the children of those who were left behind, who were born in it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, please. You know what I'm saying? You full of shit. You know what I'm saying? Every time these demon Democrats want to fucking slew up people's mind, they come up with this bullshit. I don't want to hear that shit. You garbage then, just like you garbage now. We see New York State bans heating with firewood this fall. That's bullshit. If you keep on going electric, and China attacks us with that weapon of knocking out our grid and all this electric shit and Y2K and Y2B, whatever. And you all electric. How the fuck are you gonna survive? Your cars ain't gonna run because they're gonna all be electric. You ain't gonna have no heat because everything is electric. You can't burn firewood, so you're damn sure ain't gonna be warm. But I guess in an apocalyptic situation, you have no choice. You know what I'm saying? But we see Mitch McConnell announce Senate Republicans will defer the House spending bill. Yeah, like Mitch McConnell crooked ass. You definitely gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? We see Jennifer Aston or whatever her name bears it all. Who gives a flying fuck? We see Congressman caught on camera pulling the fire alarm in apparent attempt to delay the vote to avoid a shutdown. Okay. What the fuck is every time the demon Democrats get in office, why do they do this bullshit? Aren't y'all tired? We see Joe Biden administration, you know what I'm saying, announce restricting restrictions on furnace in latest green energy push. Yeah, meanwhile you're still drilling and selling oil over there. You didn't change anything. You're still drilling and selling. Okay? We see Republicans may save Donald Trump from a long awaited disposition. The Republicans need to step out and act like they got some goddamn sense, if you ask me. Because y'all flim flamming like a motherfucker lately. Hmm? Even the demon Democrats have always been flim flamming. But y'all seem to have had it kind of together now. You seem to have a lot of statements coming out, saying I'm not going to stick to them until I see more into it. You know what I'm saying? We see Clarence Thomas, move to consider New York's background check for ammunition under con, ammunition under concealed carrying uh, 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 improvement act. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that ain't gonna do no good because the people ain't gonna go for none of that bullshit. What they need to do is do make ammunition because you talking about us being attacked from all realms. You know what I'm saying? All your different countries, you know what I'm saying, that y'all in bed with, you saying is gonna attack us, including your very own lovely China, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? Like Trump said, just ask China, you know, in more ways than one. You know what I mean? We see a lot of bullshit going on in all ways. You know what I'm saying? We see even Mayor Greasy Head Cue Ball Adams finally admit New York right to shelter doesn't apply to migrants. You know what I'm saying? Greasy cue ball. That is grease and cube. You know what I'm saying? You see? Flim flamming once again. So we see the bullshit in all ways. You know what I'm saying? He's now saying it doesn't apply. So right after you let 100 and maybe 10,000 or million people into New York City, you know what I'm saying? Now you say I don't believe the right to shelter applies to migrant crisis. Mayor Greasy Adams, now you admitting that? You know what I'm saying? Now, but me see the mayor, reaffirm his belief on Thursday, September 28th, you know what I'm saying, that the city right to shelter policy does not cover the recent influx of migrants as his administration seeks to restrict the duration of shelter, you know what I'm saying, stay and activity, uh, discourage new attendants. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and put them out on the street. You know what I mean? And then we have more crime. So you just created a crime wave in New York City. Oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? We see residents are fleeing these cities. You know what I'm saying? We see a lot of that going on. Well, they flee in the cities to get their asses out of here. We see Governor Hoxha blame climate change for Friday's deluge, or whatever you want to call it, urge New Yorkers to prepare for future storms. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. Like our brain do. We see Kathy Hoxha sends urgent letter to many people in New York for what? Urgent letter to do what? The garbage, demon, Democrat, blood sucking shit that you and Cuomo them been doing for years, because you've been sitting up in there with Cuomo just as long, or probably even longer. You garbage, Kathy Hoxel then, and you garbage now. You know what I'm saying? But we see here where, you know what I'm saying, it add leaves turn into fall. There will be quite a few things happening across New York State over the next several weeks. You know what I'm saying? This is a time of year that people are not are out and about. Whether it works, whether it works, errand works, whether it's works, errands, football games, fall events, and other recreational activities, the next 6 weeks will be extremely busy to many people in New York. That means many people will be driving more often. If you have looked through your mail over the past week or two and you want a Kia or Honda vehicle, you probably have noticed a letter in the mail from, the state of New York. Mm-hmm. Get out of my face with a piece of shit, a lying ass. You a lying motherfucker. And that's just it. You know what I'm saying? You a lying motherfucker talking about this and that and the third. Kathy Hoxley ain't no more than an idiot. And I don't know why you elect her.